Allez, bonjour, bonjour, bienvenue. Aujourd'hui, c'est le mardi 5 janvier 2021. C'est un nouvel an. Donc, bonne année. Hein, je vous souhaite bonne année. Joyeux nouvel an. Bonne année. I hope you all had a restful break and that you're coming back feeling refreshed. I look forward to hearing a little more about your breaks, how things went in a moment. Today, I'm going to try to start us slow a little bit, just kind of get back into the rhythm after a break. So you can look at a photo and describe the clothing someone is wearing, or you can look at a description somebody gives you of what they're wearing and identify the photo of that person. Okay, and we'll do that today as practice, and we'll do that a little bit more in the days to come. And I can describe clothing using colors. All right, so we'll just review a little bit today, try to get you back into the rhythm of things, and then, yeah. OK, on va commencer avec la module 2, réorganisation. So we're going to reorganize the unit a little bit. Et puis un échauffement, ton activité préférée pendant des vacances. Et puis une révision des couleurs et qu'est-ce qu'elle porte, qu'est-ce qu'il porte. OK. So we're approaching the end of quarter 2. I think it's January 22nd is the end of the quarter. Let me go ahead and, yeah, so January 22nd is the end of the quarter. So we're going to spend these next 2 weeks focused on some specific things, and I want to talk to you about what we will be doing and what we won't be doing, all right? Because the unit has switched up a little bit. It was a little more aspirational than I had planned for it to be. All right, so these next 2 weeks, we're really going to focus on describing what you're wearing. So making sure that you can describe what you're wearing in French. Identifying cultural situations where clothing choice matters. And we talked about that a little bit with an activity you did early on in the packet. And we'll kind of come back to that tomorrow, especially. And then identifying what to wear in which situation, right? So for those different situations, what you wear matters. And so we can talk about what those situations might be for you. I've got a few ideas of what those situations are. But I'd also love to hear from y'all what situations for you mean, okay, I have to change my clothes, or okay, I have to wear a specific thing. Understanding descriptions of what someone is wearing. So that's what we're going to work on today. All right, we're going to practice that a little bit later today. So this is what we're going to focus on for the next 2 weeks. The last week, so third week, so the final week of the quarter, we're going to quickly breeze through some of the things that were a part of the unit that we have to kind of breeze through, and we can really focus on semester 2 that we're not going to do in these next 2 weeks. Okay, so we'll spend the final week, so the third week, just quickly looking at quel and ce. So we're not going to be doing a proper unit on this, right? We're not going to be properly diving into it, but we're just going to kind of look at it. Quel and ce, which and this. Looking at verbs avoir and être, as well as porter and mettre. So these are things that I really wanted to emphasize in this unit, but I don't think they're essential. So we're just going to have them as, we're going to breeze through it, kind of look at them, basically, just in passing in the last week. And then semester 2, we'll give them their due. We'll properly study them. All right. So I'm going to pull up the activity workbook so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So I asked y'all to submit some vocabulary. Some of y'all submitted some great vocabulary already. If you have like 30, 40 words in here, awesome. Make a copy of that slide and then have a slide with just the 10 to 15 essential words, right? So the 30, you can have them as recognized words that you can just kind of recognize. And then 12, 15 that you really know how to really use and apply. We're not going to talk about fabric. I'd love to talk about it kind of in passing, maybe in week 3. I think this stuff is really interesting, but we're not going to get to it. So you can even delete that if you want from your activity book, or just skip it. Style, we already worked on this. We're going to use it. We did this activity, right? Pour aller me coucher. So for going to bed, that's a cultural situation where you wear something different, right? Pour aller à un mariage, a wedding. So we'll keep thinking about those. We'll brainstorm those a little bit tomorrow. And then we've got the verbs avoir and être and porter and mettre. These are really important verbs, and I look forward to teaching these to you properly, right? But we're not going to get to them. For these next 2 weeks, the only important one is going to be je porte, je mets. And I'll give you all plenty of exposure to those to practice those a little bit. So je porte, je mets. These two activities I asked y'all to do over the break, so those should be complete. If they're not complete, you can spend some time today working on those. We'll go over this first batch today, and then the second one, maybe we'll go over these tomorrow. So we're not going to be doing this exercise, le verbe porter. We're not going to be doing the one on mettre. These are great activities. I look forward to coming back and making the most of them in semester 2, but not this semester. Same goes for these, right? Quel pantalon? Which pant? Which pair of pants? Which is your favorite t-shirt? Which, what? And then ce. These are really useful things to know in French, and I look forward to walking you through them a little bit in detail, but we're just going to see them in passing. We might fill this one out, right? What does it look like? But then we're not going to do the exercises about them, okay? So again, the activity bank was an adaptation of the packet that I had done for y'all to help y'all kind of navigate virtual learning and how to best get this material. But it was a lot more aspirational than I had anticipated. So this slide and some of these slides are going to be a lot more important than the rest. All right, so I'll take a break and give you a chance to ask some questions. Okay. If there are more questions, feel free to reach out. You can always email me. Ok, donc pour l'échauffement, quelle était ton activité préférée pendant les vacances? Est-ce qu'il y a une activité en particulier qui t'a fait du bien? Donc, quelle était ton activité préférée pendant les vacances? Donc, on vient de passer 1 semaine et demie en vacances. We've just spent a week and a half on vacation. What was your favorite activity? What was one thing you did? Was there one activity in particular? Est-ce qu'il y a une activité en particulier qui t'a fait du bien? Was there one activity in particular that really made you feel good? That really, people say filled your cup, right? Or like just gave you joy or helped you rest? Ok, bien. Ok, donc dans la valise, donc je vous ai demandé de faire cette activité pendant les vacances. Donc on va voir quelques réponses. So I asked you all to do this for vacation over the break, just basically giving a list of what these people have in their suitcase. And what I'd like to do is to establish what these things mean, just to make sure that we're clear on what's happening here. So these are all different people in different situations. Donc, numéro 1, Suzette va à Tahiti en Océanie au mois de septembre. Je vais à Montréal, au Québec, au mois de janvier. Tu vas à Londres, en Angleterre, au mois de juin. So these are all situations, and what kind of clothing are they going to bring? So for this first one, can somebody break down what this means just so that we know what we're working with? And you can speak up, or you can type it in the chat if you prefer. Suzette is going to Tahiti in September. Excellent. Suzette goes to Tahiti in Oceania, so like Australian region. There's a name for it in the Pacific Southwest, I guess is what it is. I don't know. In the month of September, right? So the month of September part, that's important because it changes how the weather might be and what they might be bringing in their suitcase. How about number 2? Je vais à Montréal, au Québec, au mois de janvier. What's that one mean? Je vais à Montréal, au Québec, au mois de janvier. Yeah, I'm going to Montreal in January. Excellent. Je vais à Montréal, au Québec. I'm going to Montreal in Quebec, which is a state in Canada, au mois de janvier, in January. So if you Google Montreal, you'll see it's pretty far north. In January, it's going to be cold. So that's going to change what you're going to wear. Right? How about number 3? Tu vas à Londres, en Angleterre, au mois de juin. Tu vas à Londres, en Angleterre, au mois de juin. Yeah, you are going to London in England in the month of June. Okay, so early summer. All right, so now what I'll ask you to do is in the chat, or you can annotate, annotation is enabled, to go ahead and give me your answers for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, I was just asking for a list of clothes, 3 or more. All right, so I'll give you a moment to do that, and then I'll come back and we'll go through some answers. Ouais, très bien, ok. Donc, Suzette va à Tahiti en Océanie au mois de septembre. Elle a des lunettes de soleil, une jupe, un t-shirt, très bien. Une autre réponse, another perfectly valid response might be, elle a un maillot de bain, un short et un t-shirt. Un maillot de bain, you haven't seen this before, I don't think. Does anybody know what un maillot de bain might be? Comment dit-on en anglais un maillot de bain? Comment dit-on un maillot de bain en anglais? Oui, très bien, super. Somebody got it. Ah, it's a tricky one. Well done. Un maillot de bain is a swimsuit. All right. Un maillot is a jersey. So un maillot de foot is a soccer jersey. And so a jersey of bath, a bathing jersey. It's kind of weird, okay? A bathing jersey, a swimsuit, okay? Un maillot de bain, un short et un t-shirt. Donc, je vais à Montréal, au Québec, au mois de janvier. Très bien, un pantalon, un manteau, des bottes. Super, super. Une autre bonne réponse, c'est j'ai un pull, donc un pull vert, un pull, une écharpe, un manteau et des bottes. We had the same ideas with manteau and bottes because we know it was going to be cold. Il fait froid, donc j'ai un manteau, et il neige, donc j'ai des bottes. Une écharpe, qu'est-ce que c'est une écharpe? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Une écharpe, I don't think you've seen before. Oui, très bien, somebody got it. Ah, y'all are awesome. A scarf, une écharpe, ok? Ce n'est pas vraiment une écharpe, mais bon, une écharpe, ok? Une écharpe, ok? Une écharpe. Tu vas à Londres, en Angleterre, au mois de juin. Donc, tu as un pull, un jean, des baskets. Super, super. Une autre réponse, c'est tu as un chemisier, une jupe, un jean et des talons. So I was thinking for a young woman, all right, or just a person who likes wearing heels, tu as un chemisier à blouse, une jupe, un jean et des talons. So une jupe, a skirt. Okay. Mes parents et moi, nous allons à Disney World. Quelqu'un l'avait dit, un t-shirt, un short, un débardeur, très bien. Un t-shirt, une veste, it might be a little chilly, even in the month of March. Okay, une veste, so a jacket. Une casquette et des baskets. Des baskets because you want something comfortable, right? Excellent. Okay, so if you haven't done those, please finish those for tomorrow. The next 4, we'll go over them tomorrow. I'll go ahead and clear annotations. Thanks for your hard work on that. OK, donc les couleurs, les couleurs. Donc nous avons noir et blanc. OK, noir et blanc. And then can anybody remember the primary colors, les 3 couleurs primaires en français? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui se souvient les trois couleurs principales? Rouge, très bien. Rouge, bleu, jaune. Super. Bravo. Oui. Rouge, bleu, jaune. Rouge, bleu, jaune. So at home, practice pronunciation. Rouge, bleu, jaune. Oui. OK. On a aussi orange. Donc rouge, orange, jaune, vert, 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 bleu, violet et rouge. Okay, so let's practice these at home. Rouge, orange, jaune, vert, bleu, violet. Okay. Il y a beaucoup d'autres couleurs. There are many, many other colors. There are so many colors. Mais ça va vous aider à commencer, okay, avec les couleurs. This is just to get you started. Okay, this is just a few simple colors, 6 simple colors, common colors, to get you started with describing colors in French. I invited the other class to let me know if they want to know how to say certain colors in French. And they asked for how to say sky blue and sea green. So vert marine would be sea green. I'll have to double check it. And bleu ciel would be sky blue. And we can talk about lighter, darker colors, right? Tones and tints. Shades and tints, I should say. Okay. OK. Donc, avec les couleurs, on peut décrire des vêtements. Donc, elle porte des lunettes de soleil, une veste, un débardeur, une jupe, des talons et un sac à main. Mais ce n'est pas seulement une veste, c'est une veste rouge. Et c'est une veste vraiment rouge, très rouge. Hein? C'est un débardeur blanc. Okay? Des lunettes de soleil noires, pourquoi pas. Okay? Une jupe noire et blanche. Des talons rouges. Okay? So what I want you to do is to start thinking about describing not only what you're wearing, but what color of the clothes you're wearing. All right? Okay. So for this activity, this is something that I'd like to do towards the end of next week, again, as a summative thing to see, okay, what can you do in French? I built up a fake text message, okay? So this is totally, clearly not an actual screen cap, right? But I'm imagining, okay, well, maybe you're asking friends in French, what are you wearing? So there are certain situations where you might ask this. One colleague of mine suggested, oh, well, what if you're meeting somebody and you've never met them before? You don't know what they look like. Well, if they describe what they're wearing, it helps you find them, right? So it's like, oh, I'll meet you downtown. I'll meet you by the ice cream shop. And look, I'll be wearing this, this, and this. And maybe they'll even give a physical description, right? So you know to pick them out. So in this activity, what I'm going to ask y'all to do is you can put it in the chat, A, B, or C, but you're exchanging texts with somebody. And so maybe you're the person, I guess, since it's blue, right? You're the person who's responding and saying what you're wearing. So the person's going to say what they're wearing, and you're going to have to tell, okay, is it A, B, or C? Right? And we'll work on this more tomorrow too, but I just wanted to get you practicing this a little bit. So in the chat, I'll ask you to put A, B, or C. Donc, qu'est-ce que tu portes? What are you wearing? Qu'est-ce que tu portes? Je porte un t-shirt, un jean, une veste et des baskets. J'ai une barbe. J'ai une barbe. Okay, donc c'est A, B ou C. Je porte un t-shirt, un jean, une veste et des baskets. J'ai une barbe. Je vois une réponse. I see one answer in the chat. Oh, somebody else, yeah. Oui, très bien, c'est B. OK? Oui, c'est B. B. OK? And so you see, they're not just describing what they're wearing, they're also giving a little bit of a description of j'ai une barbe, I have a beard, right? To help somebody find them. What are some other things you might say? Maybe things that you remember from the previous unit to describe yourself that might help somebody find you in a crowd. Put it in the chat. What are some expressions you might use? Je suis or j'ai. You know, if you said something like je suis intelligente, that might not help somebody find you, right? But maybe an appearance thing, right? Oui, très bien. Donc, je suis grand, grande. Je suis petite ou petit. OK? Bien, oui. OK? Let's do one more to practice. OK. Je porte une veste, un jean, des lunettes de soleil et des talons. J'ai les cheveux marrons. Donc, c'est A, B ou C? Oui, c'est A. Donc, je porte une veste blanche, un jean, des lunettes de soleil et des talons. Et j'ai les cheveux marrons. Okay, I have brown hair. OK. Très bien. Hein? Donc, une veste blanche might have helped if you were confused between A or B. Une veste blanche would have helped you with, oh, a white jacket instead of a blue jacket. Et des talons, high heels, as opposed to des baskets. Puis des cheveux marrons. Okay. Okay. So we'll continue this activity tomorrow, and I want to get you all practicing this a little bit. I thought of it kind of like a Where's Waldo thing. I don't know if you've ever played that game, but where it's like the big picture with all these wild things going on, and it's like you got to find the one dude in the striped shirt. I'm gonna try to figure out how to make that work. These are only 3 people, but we'll try to make that work for this activity. Ok, très bien. Ok. Donc, on va continuer ça demain. Pour demain, for tomorrow, please do finish that activity that I asked you all to do for break, if you didn't already. And we'll start kind of talking about how Unit 2 is going to wrap up. And yeah, please get in touch with your questions. I've got to do a little grading today. I'm going to try to catch up a little bit on grading. French Club is happening from 3:30 to 4. Otherwise, au revoir et à demain. Stick around if there are questions. Au revoir.